We made it, folks. 2025 is finally here. So the question now is, what's going to be happening with Pokemon? Welcome back to the Lumiose Post, where we talk about all things Pokemon, and today we're going to be talking about what this year, 2025, will look like for the Pokemon franchise. We actually, believe it or not, do know a lot about what will be happening this year, and obviously, that's what we're going to be talking about, just the things that we know. There's plenty we could speculate, but we're going to be talking today about the things that we know will happen this year. So first off, there is the biggest thing that's happening, and that is Pokemon's next mainline game, Pokemon Legends ZA. This will be the first mainline Pokemon game since Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, and the first time that we've had really anything new for mainline Pokemon since Pokemon Scarlet and Violet's DLC back in 2023. So obviously, we're pretty excited about this. Not only will ZA be releasing this year, but, don't know if you noticed this, but we don't actually, at the time of recording, have a trailer for Legends ZA. So, this will obviously be a year that we get our first trailer for ZA, and we'll very likely get multiple trailers as they build up towards the launch of this game. Now, we don't currently know when this game's releasing. All they said was 2025, which is pretty broad, but the fact that we have not yet received a trailer yet makes me think that we're looking at this game releasing around probably the fall of this year. Maybe it could be a little bit earlier than November because they did reveal it all the way back in February of last year. So maybe it'll release earlier than November, but right now I don't see it being earlier than August. That's just me though. Hopefully I'm wrong. I would love to be wrong. If I am wrong, though, there is also a chance that not only could we see ZA release, but also we could go ahead and see DLC for it. And now, you may be thinking, DLC, what? Like on the scope of, the Isle of Armor and the Crown Tundra, or the Teal Mask and the Indigo Disc? No, I highly doubt that. This would very likely be just a small little update that adds some small things into the game and gives it a bit more longevity, similar to how we got the Daybreak DLC for Legends Arceus. That happened 1 month after Legends Arceus came out, so, if ZA releases in even August, well then, November, so 3 months later, we could see that release. I don't know that they will do that. That is speculative, and we are here to only talk about the facts, so I apologize. Let's move on. Obviously, there will be various updates for the various Pokemon spin-off games. Pokemon has been building up its arsenal of different games that you can play that aren't mainline, but are constantly being updated. Pokemon Go, obviously, will receive updates throughout the year. Pokemon Unite will receive updates. Pokemon Masters EX, Pokemon Sleep, Pokemon Cafe Remix even. All of these games will receive updates throughout the year. You can only speculate on what those updates will be, but those games will, guaranteed, be getting features throughout the year. Now, one Pokemon game that is a spin-off that I've actually been really enjoying is Pokemon TCG Pocket, and this game will also be getting some updates this year. First off, we know for a fact that trading will come out for Pokemon TCG Pocket. Again, we don't know when this will release, but we know that they're working on it. You can actually see it in your game, but it's saying that it'll come later. And they did say that when this releases for Pokemon Pocket, it will be limited to certain cards at first. So while they haven't said which cards it will be limited to, I could see it either being limited to just basic cards, so not like your EXs or your full art cards, or maybe it even just means limited to the first pack, which was the Genetic Apex pack, and not yet available for the Mythical Island pack. And on that note, the Mythical Island pack that was released in December, which was about 2 months, really more like a month and a half after the release of the first pack, Genetic Apex and Pocket. So we will see other Pokemon TCG Pocket packs released this year. I don't know when they'll release it. Now, if you're looking at Pokemon Day, February 27th, that is about 2 months after the release of the last pack, so that seems like a really good time to release that and ride that inevitable Pokemon hype wave. But we could see like upwards of 6 packs released this year. Not sure. That's uncharted territory because we've never had a mobile TCG pack opening game like this before. But we do know we will get more packs, and we do know that trading will become available, though it'll be limited at least at first. Also, I think it's obvious Pokemon TCG Pocket will also do various events throughout the year, whether these are promo cards that you can collect by doing event battles, or if it's Wonder Pick events. They've been doing these things already. That'll continue through 2025. Lastly, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. We are not done with Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet is still the main Pokemon game for this generation. This is where all your competitive is taking place. So, of course, if you're a competitive fan, there will be various regionals, international championships, and, of course, the World Championships taking place this year. The World Championships taking place in Anaheim, California in August of this year. So they're going to want to keep Scarlet and Violet busy. We will continue to see raid events. We just had the Shiny Rayquaza event end. We will continue to see mass outbreak events. We have outbreaks right now for snake Pokemon because it's the year of the snake. So we'll continue to see this. Now, in what capacity, I don't know. Last year and the year before, they were doing a lot of starter raids, raids to give us the unrivaled mark for different starter Pokemon. But they've completed this. They've done all the starter Pokemon, unless you want to count the Hisuian forms, because we have gotten Decidueye with the unrivaled mark, but we can't get Hisuian Decidueye with the unrivaled mark. So there is a chance that maybe they could do the Hisuian Pokemon, though of course this would only be 3 raids: Decidueye, Samurai, and Typhlosion. We could also see another run of the Walking Wake and Iron Leaves raid. They've been doing that like once every year at least, so I imagine we'll see that again. Hopefully, if I get to pick one, hopefully we will get raids for the other legendary paradoxes, which are Iron Crown and Raging Bolt and Gouging Fire and Iron Boulder. I pray that we get these, because we seriously need them. This is like mandatory. These are very competitive Pokemon. So again, if you're a competitive fan, you know that these things kind of need to be made a bit more available to players, and it needs to be easier to get one that isn't hacked, since the hacked Pokemon will get you banned in tournaments, get you disqualified in tournaments. So yeah, we need some of these raids, but let me know, of course, what you think we should get for raids throughout this year. That's pretty much all we know that'll happen this year. You can, of course, speculate on what else might come. Pokemon does do various spin-off games, not just the mobile games that I mentioned, but also other games like Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, Pokemon Detective Pikachu, Pokemon Snap. These are games that we see happen throughout the course of the Pokemon life, and maybe we'll see another one of those this year. That's very possible. Also, too, I think it's worth mentioning that while this isn't Pokemon related, it is Pokemon adjacent. The Nintendo Switch 2, or the successor to the Nintendo Switch console, people are kind of calling it the Switch 2, but that's not the official name yet, will be revealed sometime this year. And looking at the cycle for the Nintendo Switch 1, its announcement to its release, very likely, since we know the Switch successor will be revealed before April of this year, very likely it will also release in like the fall of this year. So there will be a new console, and I don't know that Pokemon will do anything on it, but I do think that is worth mentioning, because while that is not a Pokemon thing, that is a thing that Pokemon will be on, so that's definitely something to talk about. And on that note of looking to the future of Pokemon on a different console, I think that this year will actually be a calmer year for Pokemon. There will still be hype with ZA, there will still be trailers for ZA, but in terms of big things Pokemon's doing outside of that, I don't think we'll be seeing much of that till next year. Next year, 2026, is of course the 30th anniversary of the Pokemon franchise. It's also the kind of due date, if you will, for the 10th generation of the Pokemon games. So that'll be a big year. They'll be revealing new Pokemon, a new region, new starters, all this crazy stuff. If you look at the 20th anniversary, they did a lot of collabs with artists. I think they collabed with Katy Perry that year. Then I think the 25th anniversary, they collabed with Post Malone. And then for Scarlet and Violet's release, they collabed with Ed Sheeran. So I think that Pokemon seems to like to dip into the music genre. They've also been collabing with Hatsune Miku. So very likely yours at Miku. I apologize. I'm not super familiar. But anywho, I think that we'll be seeing more collaborations with Pokemon and like A-list stars, like like Post Malone and Ed Sheeran and Katy Perry. Now, we can only speculate who that might be. I will say Ariana Grande is a very popular musician who is kind of well known for liking Pokemon. She even has a tattoo of an Eevee. So I feel like it's inevitable that someday we will see an Ariana Grande Pokemon collaboration. Maybe that'll be 2026. Personally, if I gotta pick it, might get some hate for this, but I would just want them to stick with Ed Sheeran again. He's the man. I love his music, so that's where I'd want it to be. But I do think Ariana Grande is inevitable at some point. But let me know which artists you would like to see Pokemon collaborate with in 2026. Let me know what things you think that you could happen this year. Y'all can get a little speculative in the comments. Try to be strict here with just what we know is happening, but get a little speculative in the comments. Have fun. Tell me what you think will come in 2025. Let me know the raid events you want, the artists you'd want to see Pokemon collab with either this year or in 2026. All that fun stuff in the comments below. Be sure to like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, and until next time, I will see all of you later. Happy 2025, y'all.